NorCal mobilizes. While SoCal fought with flashy power and volatile street disputes, Sunnyvale Gulfland operated like a militarized compound. NorCal didn't do reckless turf wars. They built impenetrable walls. Their strategy was pure, unadulterated turtle play: drag the opponent into a meat grinder of spacing, choke points, and ironclad defense until the attacker made a mistake and paid for it with their life. The internal skirmish at San Jose. Deep inside the courtyard of the Iron Spire in San Jose, a heated dispute broke out between Xian and Bucktooth. Xian had planted a line of heavy defense turrets around the Milpitas border line, cutting off Bucktooth's Hayward enforcers from accessing the central supply depot. "You're choking my territory, Xian," Bucktooth roared, his heavy armor clanking as he stepped forward, his body radiating a dull red brawler's fortitude. "We need those energy reserves to fortify the northern passes." "You move too loose, Buck," Xian replied coldly from behind his massive tower shield. "You want to push forward like a SoCal brawler. Out here, we hold ground. If you step across my line without authorization, my auto-guard turrets chew your squad to pieces." Bucktooth slammed his massive iron fist into Xian's tower shield. Clang! The shockwave rattled the stone courtyard, but Xian didn't move an inch. His unbreakable turtle protocol absorbed the strike completely, converting the kinetic force straight into his shield's energy reserves. Before Bucktooth could throw a second punch, a flash of red and black blurred between them. Ricky Ortiz stepped into the pocket, her blade resting an inch from Bucktooth's throat with terrifying precision. "Enough," Ricky said, her voice sharp as glass. "Save the heavy hits for the south. John is coming." The entire courtyard went dead silent. Walking down the steps of the keep was John Choi. He wore no bulky armor, but the air around him was dense with an oppressive, impenetrable weight, the absolute guard. Behind him stood Seth Killian, holding a tablet tracking regional power grids, alongside Eddie Lee and Pawn 3R. Choi looked down at Xian and Bucktooth, his eyes completely calm. "SoCal thinks we're weak because we don't fight over street corners," Choi said, his voice echoing across the courtyard with total authority. "They think our defense is passive. They forget that an iron wall doesn't just stop a sword, it breaks it." Mr. Wizard steps out of the fog. As Choi finished speaking, the shadow beneath the central courtyard archway shifted. A figure casually stepped out into the light, leaning against the iron pillar while tossing a small metal coin in the air. It was Mr. Wizard. Seth Killian's eyes narrowed, while Ricky Ortiz tilted her head, her hand staying firmly on the hilt of her blade. "Wizard," Choi said, not shifting his stance. "You're a long way from Stanton." "I go where the bracket takes me, Choi," Mr. Wizard said smoothly, catching the coin and slipping it into his pocket. He looked around at the heavily armored NorCal roster: Dave Zilla, G. Wolf, Inkblot, Scrub Killer, and Campbell, all standing at attention. Mr. Wizard looked directly at John Choi, his expression unreadable. "I have to ask, John, are you really going to do this?" Mr. Wizard asked, his voice cutting through the heavy tension. "Are you really going to march this entire turtle shell down through the Fresno Pass? Are you really going to try and overhaul SoCal on their own home turf?" Choi didn't hesitate. Alex Valle thinks he owns the state because he holds the crown at Stanton. He thinks fundamentals belong to him. We're going to prove that his offense can't even chip our armor. Mr. Wizard chuckled softly, walking up to Seth Killian. He tapped Seth's tactical tablet with his index finger. "And you, Seth?" Mr. Wizard asked, looking him dead in the eye. "You're writing the rulebook for this invasion? You really think you can overthrow Valle, Power, and Deathwish with pure frame data and containment fields?" Seth Killian met his gaze with a cold, philosophical calm. "It's not about overthrowing them, Wizard. It's about mental guard break. SoCal thrives on momentum. When they hit our wall and realize they can't break through, their discipline collapses. That's when we take everything." Mr. Wizard took a step back, folding his arms. A faint, knowing smirk appeared on his face. "Fair enough," Mr. Wizard said, stepping backward into the thick mountain mist. "I just wanted to hear you say it out loud. Just remember, Alex isn't fighting alone down there. He's got a universal soldier on his front line, and Deathwish doesn't know how to stop." Before Choi or Ricky could reply, the mist swallowed Mr. Wizard completely. He was gone, leaving only the sound of the howling northern wind behind. Choi turned back to his generals, his voice stone cold. "Fortify the passes. Raise the barricades. We march south at dawn,